wait, madam. I will introduce, then you start. Just wait. So, very good evening to you all. Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya, Ausa, District Latur in Maharashtra State is organized National E-Conference. For today's session on the dais is Honorable Rjalakshmy P.S. ma'am. So, first of all, I heartily welcome to you, madam. I welcome the chief organizer of the series, our ideal principal, Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. I also welcome all those dear attendees who have joined to the session today. The topic for today's presentation is the dowry system, its causes, effects, and its solutions. Now the topic is going to present, as I have mentioned, today's keynote speaker, Rjalakshmy P.S. ma'am. Now let me introduce within short. Ma'am, she is presently serving as an assistant professor at the Department of Sociology, and she is from M.O.P. Vaishnav College for Women, which is an autonomous college which is located at Nungambakkam from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. So with this brief introduction, now I request you, madam, please start your presentation on today's topic, dowry system, causes, effects, and solution. You are most welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So today we are going to discuss about dowry system, its causes, impact, and its solutions. So I'm here to speak about the practice that has deep roots in our society and yet remains a subject of intense debate and scrutiny, that is the dowry system in India. So as we all know, the dowry system is an age-old practice that involves transfer of parental property, wealth, or gifts to a daughter at the time of her marriage. So traditionally, this practice was intended to provide the bride with financial security and ensure she had a share of her family's wealth. However, over time, the dowry system has morphed into a social menace that often leads to severe consequences. So, as we can see that in many cases, the expectation of a dowry places a significant financial burden on the bride's family, leading to economic strain and debt. So this expectation has also been linked to the birth of a disturbing trend that preferences for male children over female, resulting in skewed gender ratios and various social issues. Moreover, the dowry system has led to an increase in domestic violence and abuse. So brides who bring insufficient dowries are sometimes subjected to harassment, mistreatment, and in extreme cases, even death. So the term dowry death has unfortunately become a part of our vocabulary, highlighting the grave consequences of this practice. Despite the enactment of laws such as Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961, which aims to curb the dowry system, its implementation remains a challenge. So social norms and pressures often perpetuate the practice, making it difficult to eradicate. So let's see the historical context of dowry system. See, here the dowry system has its origins in ancient India, where it was initially a voluntary gift given to the bride by her family to ensure her financial independence after marriage. That is, the system of dowry that started from ancient times, like during marriage, the money will be given to the groom so that he can take proper care of his bride. So it was actually used to honor both the sides of the family. So, however, over time, this practice evolved into a mandatory and often burdensome obligation. So as the time changes, dowry still remains in the society, but its significance keep changing with time. So nowadays, the dowry system is becoming like a business. So the shift from voluntary to compulsory dowry can be traced back to societal changes such as the rise of patriarchal norms and the commodification of marriage. So dowry is a payment such as property or money paid by the bride's family to the groom or his family at the time of marriage. So dowry has become one of the major reasons for domestic violence against women in India. Okay, that means the presentation of gifts to the bridegroom in Hindu marriages in ancient India has now changed its form and it has become highly commercialized. So dowry system in India has multiple causes rooted in historical, social, economic and cultural factors. Let's see what are all the causes for dowry system in India. So one is, I could say it is historical traditions. As we all know that historically dowries were given as a form of inheritance for daughters who did not have property rights. This practice has evolved over time into a mandatory expectation in marriages. Then economic factors. See here, economic factors, there are two important aspects associated with this. One is financial security, another one is social status. So financial security, in a sense, family often see dowries as a way to secure financial stability for the newlyweds. Social status, in a sense, dowries are sometimes viewed as a means of displaying wealth and improving social status. Next, gender inequality. Gender inequality here, actually, you can see that the patriarchal structure of Indian society views women as financial burdens, making dowry a way to compensate the groom's family, right? And then preference for sons. So there is a societal preference for male children who are seen as future breadwinners, whereas daughters are seen as financial liabilities. Then next we have cultural and social norms. So there are two aspects associated with this. That is, one is tradition and custom, other one is marriage market. So tradition and custom, in a sense, dowry has become deeply ingrained in cultural and social practices with strong societal pressures to conform. And in some communities, a larger dowry can secure a better match for the bride, reinforcing the practice. Then we could say that weak implementation of laws. So although there are laws against dowry, such as Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961, but the enforcement is often weak and ineffective. And corruption within the legal and enforcement system can lead to dowry demands going unpunished. Then community expectations. So families often feel pressured by community norms and expectations to give or take dowry to maintain their social standing. Then comparison with others. Comparison with others, in a sense, seeing others in the community giving large dowries, it can also create a competitive environment leading to increased dowry demands. Then lack of awareness. So many people are unaware of the legal provisions against dowry and the rights of women. So limited education and lack of awareness, especially in rural areas, perpetuates the traditional beliefs and practices. Then economic dependency of women. So limited. So here you could see that the limited economic opportunities and financial burden. In a sense, women's limited access to education and employment opportunities that makes them financially dependent on their families and husbands, perpetuating the dowry system. And families of brides may feel that providing a dowry is necessary to ensure their daughters are well treated in their marital homes. So, dowry system in India is sustained by a combination of historical, economic, social, and cultural factors. Addressing these causes requires comprehensive measures, including education, legal enforcement, economic empowerment of women, and changing societal attitudes towards gender equality. So now I am moving on to impact on society, dowry system and its impact on society. So, here the most glaring impact of the dowry system is the perpetuation of gender inequality and violence against women. As I told you earlier, dowry demands often leads to harassment, abuse, and in extreme cases, dowry deaths. So, National Crime Records Bureau data reveals a disturbingly high number of dowry-related deaths each year, highlighting the urgent need for intervention. And families, particularly those from economically weaker sections, face immense financial strain due to dowry demands. So this can also lead to indebtedness, then selling properties, selling of assets, and lifelong economic hardships. So it perpetuates the cycle of poverty and inequality, affecting the overall development of society. And another thing is, you all know that the system reduces marriage to a financial transaction rather than a union based on mutual respect and love. We know that marriage is it is a union of two families, right? So, so this commodification undermines the sanctity of marriage and the dignity of individuals, fostering a culture where women are valued based on their dowry rather than their individual worth. And we also know that India has enacted several laws to combat dowry system, including the Prohibition Act of Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961, which actually makes dowry giving and receiving illegal. Despite these legal provisions, enforcement remains a significant challenge. So social stigma, lack of awareness, and inadequate support systems often deter victims from seeking justice. So, so these are the impact of dowry system in India. I think we need to concentrate more on solutions rather than discussing about the causes and impact, because everybody knows about this. So let's move on to the impact. The solutions to dowry system in India. So what do you think? What is the role of education in playing in playing what? Sorry, just a minute. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see what is the role of education in eradicating dowry system. So we all know that education plays a crucial role in eradicating dowry system in India by raising awareness, promoting gender equality, and empowering individuals to challenge traditional practices. So, first important thing is promoting awareness and legal knowledge. So, incorporating discussions on dowry-related laws such as Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 into school curricula. For instance, in some states in India, schools have included modules on gender equality and laws against dowry in their civic or social studies syllabus. Then empowering girls and women. So providing education to girls and young women can empower them to assert. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, madam, please. Getting clearly, no doubt. Please continue.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, studies have shown that educated women are more likely to negotiate their marital arrangements, including dowry expectations. So then changing mindsets and attitudes. So what do you mean by that? Changing mindsets and attitudes. So educating students about gender equality and the harmful effects of dowry can help societal attitudes. So schools can conduct workshops, seminars, then guest lectures and debates and awareness campaigns to sensitize students to the issues related to dowry and gender discrimination. Then integrating case studies and discussions on dowry-related incidents in ethical studies or moral education classes. So this approach can encourage students to critically analyze the impact of dowry on individuals and society, fostering empathy and a sense of social responsibility. Then involvement of parents and community. So organizing parent-teacher meetings and community forums to discuss gender issues and dowry-related practices. Then school can also act as a catalyst for community dialogue and encourage parents to support dowry-free marriages and encourage equal upbringing of children. Equal upbringing of their children. Then next is promoting alternative social values. So encouraging students to explore alternative marriage customs and practices through literature, drama, and cultural activities. So schools can celebrate and promote examples of dowry-free marriages and successful individuals who have rejected dowry. Then next is educating boys and men. So including sessions on gender sensitivity and sensitivity in school programs. And these sessions can also help boys understand their roles in combating harmful gender stereotypes and practices like dowry. Next is we can collaborate with NGOs also. So partnering with NGOs and other organizations that also work on gender issues and dowry prevention. So schools can invite guest speakers, organize workshops and participate in campaigns organized by these organizations to amplify their impact. So education serves as a powerful tool in challenging and eventually eradicating the dowry system by fostering critical thinking, promoting gender equality, empowering women, and changing societal norms. So by integrating these principles into educational curricula and fostering a supportive environment, schools can play a pivotal role in creating future generation that values equality and rejects harmful practices like dowry. Then, next is how can legal reforms be strengthened to combat dowry system? What is the role of legal reforms? So legal reforms, it can be strengthened by ensuring stricter enforcement of existing laws, increasing penalties for dowry-related offences, and providing better support and protection for victims, and special courts and fast-track systems for dowry cases can also help in delivering timely justice. So legal reforms aimed at combating dowry system in India can be strengthened to several key measures. Okay, first one is enhanced enforcement of law and monitoring. So establishing specialized dowry prohibition cells or task forces within law enforcement agencies to specifically handle dowry-related cases. So these units ensure prompt investigation, prosecution, and follow-up on reported cases of dowry harassment and violence. Then, as I told you earlier, fast-track courts. So what is this fast-track courts? So setting up of this dedicated fast-track courts to expedite the adjudication of dowry-related case, these courts can prioritize cases involving dowry harassment, ensuring timely justice for victims and deterrent punishment for perpetrators. Next, then amending existing laws to impose stricter penalties on those found guilty of demanding or accepting dowry. So this could include increasing fines, then extending imprisonment terms, and eliminating the provisions for bail in serious cases of dowry-related violence. Then establishing legal aid clinics or helplines specifically for victims, victims of dowry harassment. So these services can provide free legal advice, representation in court, and assistance in filing complaints against dowry demands. Then public awareness campaigns. So government-led campaigns to raise awareness about laws against dowry, women's rights, and legal remedies should be available to victims. So these campaigns can use various media platforms, including television, radio, social media, and community outreach programs. Then regular training for law enforcement officials. So in a sense, conducting regular training programs for police officers, judges, and prosecutors on handling dowry-related cases sensitively and effectively. So training should focus on understanding gender dynamics, recognizing signs of dowry harassment, and victim-centered approaches. Then, see, another thing is regular.
Ma'am, just wait. Vidyanath, please mute yourself. Now you continue, ma'am, please.
So we were discussing about regular evaluations. It can also identify gaps in enforcement and public perceptions and inform future policy and legal reforms. Then collaborations with NGOs so partnering with those non-governmental organizations and civil society groups that specialize in women's rights and dowry prevention. So collaboration can also include joint initiatives for advocacy, legal assistance, victim support, and public education campaigns, etc. Then international conventions and treaties. So, ratifying and implementing international conventions and treaties that address gender equality and violence against women. So, this can also strengthen domestic legal frameworks. So, by implementing these examples and strategies, legal reforms can be strengthened to effectively combat the dowry system in India, ensuring proper enforcement of law, providing support services to victims, then raising awareness and fostering collaboration between stakeholders are essential steps towards eradicating this harmful practice and promoting gender equality. Next, we are going to discuss about, it's very important that the role of men in ending the dowry system. How important is the role of men in ending the dowry system? So, men play a crucial role in ending the dowry system by refusing to accept dowry and standing against the practice. Men can set an example and influence others. Educating boys and men about the harms of dowry and promoting gender equality can lead to significant societal change. So, for example, influential men such as celebrities, politicians, and community leaders can advocate against dowry. For example, cricketer Virat Kohli has publicly spoken against the dowry system, encouraging others to reject the practice. So public figures have a broad reach and can influence public opinion. When they speak out against dowry, it raises awareness and encourages others to reflect on and change their attitudes towards the practice. Then next is men who choose to have dowry-free weddings set an example for others. So here grooms have to take oaths to not demand or accept dowry and have conducted and should conduct a simple dowry-free marriages. So it actually demonstrates that dowry-free marriages are possible and socially acceptable, gradually shifting societal norms. Right. Then education and awareness. So educated men who understand the negative impacts of the dowry system can educate their peers and family members. For example, young men in various educational institutions across India, they can start clubs and groups to discuss and campaign against their dowry. So, because we all know that education and awareness are powerful tools in changing mindsets. When men understand the legal, social, and ethical implications of dowry, they are more likely to reject it and persuade others to do the same. Then, next is what measures can be taken to support victims of dowry harassment. So here, measures to support victims include providing legal aid, establishing shelters and support centers, then offering counseling services and ensuring their safety through protective measures, etc. So creating awareness about these resources is also essential so that victims know where to seek help. Okay. Next, we are going to discuss about what role can technology and social media play in combating dowry. As we all know that technology and social media can play a significant role by spreading awareness, mobilizing support, and connecting victims with resources and support networks. So social media campaigns can go viral and reach a wide audience, promoting a collective stand against dowry. Example, campaigns on social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It can Instagram can spread awareness about the negative impacts of dowry. For example, a hashtag campaign like End Dowry Abuse, then encouraging people to share stories, articles, and videos about the harmful effects of dowry and how it can be eradicated. They can educate the public about how it can be eradicated. Then educational websites and apps that can also provide information about the legal aspects related to dowry, such as laws that prohibit dowry and the legal recourse available to victims. For example, like an app could provide resources and support for women facing dowry-related abuse, including legal advice, support groups, and emergency contacts. Then online communities and support groups on platforms like Facebook can offer a safe space for individuals to share their experiences and seek support from others who have faced similar issues. So these groups can also connect victims with NGOs and other organizations that can provide assistance. Then so technology can facilitate the reporting of dowry-related crimes, and for example, a mobile app could be developed to allow victims to report dowry demands and related abuse directly to the authorities, ensuring a quick response. So this can also include features to document evidence and track the status of their complaints. Then social media can be used to expose those who demand or support dowry, creating public accountability. For example, a viral video campaign showing the negative consequences of dowry and featuring testimonials from survivors can pressure individuals and communities to change their practices. Then, partnering with influencers and celebrities. So influencers and celebrities can also use their platforms to speak out against dowry and promote messages of equality and justice. For instance, the popular actor or social media personality could collaborate with NGOs to create impactful content that reaches a wide audience and challenges cultural norms around dowry. Then, documentaries and short films. There are many documentaries are available on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and other social media platforms. So documentaries and short films distributed via YouTube or other video sharing platforms can tell compelling stories about the impact of dowry on individuals and families, helping to humanize the issue and foster empathy and understanding among viewers. So by leveraging these various technological and social media strategies, societies can work towards reducing and eventually eliminating the practice of dowry, promoting a culture of equality and respect. Next, we are going to discuss about how can youth engagement help in tackling the dowry system. Excuse me. So here, engaging youth can be highly effective as young people are more open to change and can influence future generations. So programs in schools and colleges that educate about gender equality and the harms of dowry can inspire young people to reject the practice and advocate for social change. Right. So youth engagement can be a powerful force in tackling the dowry system by fostering cultural change, promoting awareness, and driving action against this harmful practice. So, for example, education and awareness campaigns. So youth-led organizations can conduct workshops and seminars in schools, colleges, and communities to educate their peers about the negative impacts of the dowry system. For instance, a student group could create an educational campaign that includes presentations, pamphlets, and social media content highlighting the legal, social, and economic consequences of dowry. That youth can also form advocacy groups to lobby for stronger enforcement of anti-dowry laws and policies. For example, they can start any club, or they can form any club or association that could organize petitions and meetings with local lawmakers to advocate for better protection and support for dowry victims. Then young people also can use their social media platforms to spread messages against dowry. Like creating a viral hashtag campaign like Youth Against Dowry. It can engage a wide audience and encourage young people to pledge not to give or take dowry. So they can also share stories, infographics, and videos to educate others. Then they can form peer support groups that provide a safe space for individuals to share their experience and seek help regarding dowry-related issues. For example, a college counseling center could facilitate a support group where students discuss how to resist dowry demands and support each other in those decisions. Then youth volunteers can also work with NGOs and community organizations to spread awareness and provide support to those affected by dowry. For example, a youth group could organize community events, street plays, or door-to-door campaigns to educate families about the harms of dowry and the importance of rejecting such practices. Then tech-savvy youth can also develop apps and online platforms that provide resources and support for those facing dowry pressures. So a group of young developers could, for example, they can develop or create an app that offers legal information, connects users with counselors, and provides a platform to report dowry demands anonymously. Then young people can also use creative arts like theatre, music, and film to convey anti-dowry messages. For instance, a drama club could produce a play that highlights the personal and societal cost of dowry, or a film school could create a documentary featuring real life stories of individuals affected by dowry. Then they can also serve as role models by publicly committing to not participate in dowry practices and encouraging others to follow suit. For example, a popular young influencer or a community leader could share their personal stance against dowry in interviews and social media posts, inspiring others to take a similar stance. Youth can also engage in research projects to gather data on the prevalence and impact of the dowry system in their communities. For instance, a group of sociology students could conduct surveys and interviews to document cases of dowry and they can use this data to create reports that inform policy and advocacy efforts. Then, young people can also connect with international organizations and youth movements that work against dowry and related practices. For example, participating in global forums or online exchanges with youth from different countries can help share strategies and build a broader movement against dowry. So, by actively involving youth in this and other initiatives, communities can harness the energy, creativity, and commitment of young people to drive meaningful change and work towards the eradication of the dowry system. So next we are going to discuss about how can religious and cultural leaders be involved in ending the dowry practice? Or what is the role of religious institutions in ending dowry practice? See here, religious and cultural leaders can influence their communities by speaking out against dowry and promoting ethical and moral values that reject the practice. So they can use their platforms to advocate for dowry-free marriages and emphasize the importance of equality and respect. So religious and cultural leaders play a significant role in shaping societal norms and values, making their involvement crucial in ending the dowry practice. For example, religious leaders can use their platforms to publicly denounce the practice of dowry during sermons, religious gatherings, or ceremonies. For instance, respected imam, priest, or pandit could deliver a sermon emphasizing the moral and ethical reasons for rejecting dowry, quoting religious texts that support equality and justice. Then, uh, then a council of religious leaders could issue an official edict or resolution declaring the dowry system as un-Islamic, un-Christian, or un-Hindu, depending on the community. And cultural leaders such as village heads or community elders and religious figures can set a personal example by refusing to accept dowry in their own or their family members' weddings. For example, a prominent Hindu priest could conduct his child's wedding with a public declaration that no dowry was given or taken and encouraging others to follow the same. Then, organizing community workshops and dialogues facilitated by religious and cultural leaders can also help educate the community about the negative impacts of dowry. Okay. For example, they can host regular seminars where religious leaders discuss the harms of dowry and promote the principles of equality and charity. Then, incorporating anti-dowry messages into religious education programs can shape young minds. For example, madrasas, Sunday schools, and other religious educational institutions can include lessons on the importance of rejecting dowry and treating all individuals with respect and dignity. Then they can also publicly support and endorse legal measures against dowry. For example, a coalition of church leaders in a region could hold a press conference to support stricter enforcement of anti-dowry laws and encourage their followers to report dowry demands. Then collaborating with the NGOs and other government initiatives. So partnering with the NGOs and government bodies to promote anti-dowry campaigns can amplify the message. For example, a Hindu temple could collaborate with an NGO to host a joint campaign and combining religious teachings with practical support and legal advice for dowry victims. Then, cultural leaders also can help reform reform wedding rituals to exclude dowry practices explicitly. For example, in some communities, you know that the wedding rituals could be modified to include a pledge against uh, dowry, making it a formal part of marriage ceremony. Then, next, religious and cultural leaders can also use media to spread their messages. For example, a religious leader could appear on television and radio shows or write articles and use social media to advocate against dowry, reaching a broader audience. Then creating support systems within a religious institution also can help victims of dowry related abuse. For example, a church could set up a counseling center that provides emotional and legal support to individuals facing dowry harassment, guided by the principles of compassion and justice found in religious teachings. So to conclude here, by leveraging their influence and authority, religious and cultural leaders can significantly contribute to changing attitudes and behaviors towards dowry, fostering a culture of equality and respect. Then, next we are going to discuss about the role of what role can community-based initiatives play in addressing the dowry problem. So here, community-based initiatives can play a significant role by raising awareness, providing support to affected families, and promoting dowry-free marriages. So local leaders and influencers can advocate for change, and community pledges against dowry can create social pressure to abandon the practice. Right. Then next is what impact can economic empowerment of women have on the dowry system? So economic empowerment of women can significantly reduce the prevalence of dowry. So financially independent women are less likely to be seen as burdens and can resist dowry demands. So promoting women's entrepreneurship, providing job opportunities, and ensuring equal pay can contribute to their economic empowerment. So economic empowerment of women can have a significant impact on combating the dowry system in India by reducing their financial dependency and challenging traditional gender roles. So when women are economically independent and have their own income or assets, they are less likely to be seen as a financial burden by their families or their in-laws. So this reduces the perceived need for dowry as a means to financially support the bride after marriage. When economically empowered women can also negotiate marriage terms more effectively, including resisting dowry demands or insisting on dowry-free marriages. They can assert their rights and refuse to participate in practices that perpetuate gender inequality. And women who are economically empowered often serve as role models within their communities, challenging traditional norms and expectations related to dowry. So their success and independence inspire other women and families to reconsider the necessity and desirability of dowry. And next is empowerment through education and employment. So education and employment opportunities enable women to acquire skills and networks and gain financial literacy. So this empowerment equips them to make informed decisions, manage finances, and contribute actively to household and community development. Then organizations like SEVA, Self-Employed Women's Association in India, empower women through microfinance and livelihood support. SEVA has enabled thousands of women to start small businesses, access financial services, and gain economic independence. So, women involved in SHGs, that is self-help groups and microfinance initiatives, often report increased confidence, decision-making power, and social status within their families. So, this economic empowerment reduces their vulnerability to dowry demands and enhances their ability to negotiate equal partnerships in marriage. Hence, economic empowerment of women plays a crucial role in challenging and eventually eradicating a dowry system by enhancing their economic status, bargaining power, and social influence. So, by promoting initiatives that support women's economic independence, societies can foster greater gender equality and reduce harmful practices like dowry, ultimately leading to more equitable and sustainable communities. So let's see what are all the legal provisions in India aimed at combating dowry system. That is, first one is Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. It actually defines dowry as any property or valuable security given or agreed to be given directly or indirectly by one party to a marriage to the other party. So it prohibits the giving or taking of dowry at the time of or before or after the marriage, directly or indirectly. And Section 4 penalizes both the giver and receiver of dowry with imprisonment that may extend to 5 years and with a fine of at least 15,000 rupees or amount of the value of such dowry, whichever is more. And its Section 6 provides for the maintenance of a list of presents given at the time of the marriage to be maintained by both the parties, which can be used as evidence in legal proceedings. Then other amendments and enhancements. Amendments in 1986 actually introduced more stringent provisions to deter the practice of dowry and dowry-related harassments. It included presumption of on the presumptions on the part of the accused in case of dowry death, that is Section 113B of the Indian Evidence Act of 1872, and amendment in 1984. It is required central and state governments to promote public awareness regarding the evil of dowry, and then cognizance and investigation. That is Section 8. Section 8 provides for the cognizance of offences and empowers police officers not below the rank of inspector to investigate dowry-related offences. Then special codes. Special codes, Section 8A. It provides for the establishment of special courts for the speedy trial of offences under the Act. Then Section 6A, that is the protection of women, protects women from being harassed for dowry after marriage by including specific provisions against dowry harassment in the Indian Penal Code, IPC, such as Section 498A. Then section 8B, reporting and monitoring, that mandates the state government to report annually to the central government on the implementation of the Act and any other relevant information. So these legal provisions form a comprehensive framework to combat dowry system in India by defining a dowry, prohibiting its giving and taking, establishing penalties, facilitating investigation and prosecution, and providing for special courts and legal aid. These provisions aim to deter and punish offenders while protecting the rights of women. However, effect and societal change are crucial to fully eradicate this harmful practice. Then, so that's all. Let me conclude. So eradicating dowry system is actually crucial to, it is not just legal or economic challenge, but a moral imperative. So it is a fight for justice, equality, and dignity of every woman in our society. So let us pledge today to be the change makers, to challenge the status quo, and to work tirelessly towards a future where no woman has to suffer the indignities of dowry. Together, we can create a society that truly values and respects its women. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
The topic, dowry system, its causes, effects, and solutions. You have explained in a very deep sense, with deep knowledge. We have understood a lot from your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Now I request dear participants for your queries. If you have, please come ahead and discuss with keynote speaker. Dear participants.
Good evening, all of you. Thank you, Honorable Principal Dr. M.M. Betkar, sir, Prashant Ugade, sir, Dr. Prakash Karad, sir, and all organizing committee members. Thank you, ma'am. This is a very, very important topic for society, and I congratulate Chief Organizer Dr. M.M. Betkar, sir, and resource person. Your lecture is a very informative and useful session. It is a very nice presentation, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
I have one question. First question is, why dowry system rises in India? And second question is, what is the solution for problem of dowry?
Sorry, sir.
First question is, why dowry system rises in India? Second question is, what is the solution for problem of dowry?
Actually, first thing is, we should ensure that the law fixes the accountability of the perpetrators and prosecutes those who use coercion or extortion and blackmail to demand dowry to exploit women and their families. So besides penalizing abusers who commit the gruesome acts of violence to ensure eliminating the culture of violence with impunity. So devising strategies to rehabilitate and recompense the tragic victims and survivors of the crime, and it is a long strategy is required to prevent dowry violence and exploitation, which includes altering the discriminatory patriarchal structure that is undermining women's worth. So it is necessary to examine the present law against dowry and do away with the loopholes which had made it ineffective to an extent. Awareness among women and their families is still lacking, which needs to be addressed through the social awareness campaigns, which can definitely help in creating widespread awareness against the evil of dowry and dowry debt. And at the same time, it is important for parents to give their girl child better opportunities at education and motivate them to be independent. Instead of saving money for dowry, parents should invest that money in the education of their children. So India as a country needs to change in its existing mindsets so as to push back against the iniquitous customs of dowry. So society needs to realize and accept the fact that in today's world, women are capable of doing anything that men can. At the same time, women themselves need to come out of the belief that they are in any way subordinate to men and they need to depend on men to provide for them. It is the youth of this country who can help stop it by not supporting such social evils.
Your explanation is wonderful and excellent. Thank you, Chief Organizer and resource person. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Dr. Bedkar sir, Prashant sir, and good evening, ma'am. Wonderful presentation you have made.
Thank you.
My thing is, the legislation is always one of the very important tools to improvise the social conditions.
Yes.
So what do you think, nowadays they are coming with a new reformation of the legislations. Like, 302 IPC was for murder. Now it has been changed to 103. That is what I have read in the newspaper. So what are the new legislations that are introduced by the government of India recently to empower the woman? Thank you.
Sir, actually, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of this. I don't have that much data to support your question, but as I told you earlier that there are certain laws that supporting women's which are supporting women to move against dowry. That is enforcement of Section 498A and then Section 8A, Section 8B, then Section 7, then Section 7A, 6A. All these are we discussed already. And other acts actually we have discussed in what are all the roles of youth and society. So role of youth and role of education and role of community and role of media to combat this issue, right? And role of NGOs. Right. I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't have much information regarding that.
Anybody else? So thank you, Dr. Kendre sir and Dr. Anuradha ma'am, for your nice speeches.
Hello,
now
sir.
I request the chief organizer.
Hello. Yes, sir. Respected Dr. Bedkar sir, Prashant sir, respected ma'am. My question is, why educated people want to take dowry And then the second question is, please, could you tell me the country or state where groom side gives dowry to bride side?
Actually, I have a question for you. Uh, is this prevalent among upper class people? Is dowry system prevalent among upper class people?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Why?
I don't know because we have very strong mindset about dowry tradition. So they give and take dowry.
Hmm.
But my question is why they want to take dowry?
Actually, despite their socio-economic status, many families continue to engage in the practice of dowry for various reasons, such as maintaining social status, showcasing wealth, and adhering to traditional customs. So, for example, social status and prestige, in a sense, it often includes expensive gifts like luxury cars, properties, high-end electronics, and substantial amounts of cash, etc. So these extravagant dowries are seen as a way to display their family's wealth and social standing. So the desire to uphold and enhance social status can lead upper class families to give and accept large dowries. Not only upper class, all the sections, in essence, if it is a lower class, middle class, or upper class. So the dowry is often seen as a reflection of the bride's family's prosperity and social rank. And some educated and affluent families, the traditional customs and societal expectation can pressure families to conform to dowry practices. So big fat weddings or high profile weddings of celebrities and business magnates sometimes highlight the giving of lavish dowries. So it is actually a reflection of their social status or traditional.
Groom side gives dowry to bride side.
No, sir. Most only it will
Yes.
happen. That will never happen, sir.
Ma'am, your speech is a document like a Magna Carta of women empowerment. I want to request you, please send your speech to Government of India so they can reform new policies for women empowerment. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, Dr. Devidas Kendre sir, Shyam Suresh sir, and Surya Vyas sir for your nice questions. Now I request the chief organizer of the National E-Conference, Honorable Dr. M. Bedkar sir, to conclude the session. Please welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I move towards the vote of thanks. Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya, Ausa, District Latur in Maharashtra State organized an international e-conference as well as national e-conferences. For today's session on the dais was Honorable Dr. Rjalakshmy P.S. ma'am, who wonderfully explained the topic dowry system, its causes, effects, and solutions. I mean to say that there is no need to revise all the points because madam have explained in very detail what do you mean the dowry system. Then she talked about the Hindu Marriage Act, then what is its impacts in India, and the solutions about the dowry systems, and also gender equality, and all other points she have covered in her lecture so nicely. Also explain about the public awareness, different campaigns, and social media, its role, and also the role of technology. Now these points you covered, madam, so nicely, clearly. The way you expressed, it was so excellent one. We understood a lot from your lecture. So I'm very, very thankful to you. You paid your valuable time to the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thank the chief organizer of the series, Honorable Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. I also thanks Devidas Kendre sir, Shyam Suresh sir, Anuradha ma'am, Surya Vyas sir for your nicely interaction with the keynote speaker. And at last, I should not forget all those my dear attendees for the series every day. Now I request you all, please fill the feedback link which is in the chat box. With the kind permission of chief organizer, I declare today's session is over. Now let me remind that today there was a final match on the television. Even though forgetting the match, you joined to the session. And so I'm once again heartily thanks to you all for attending the webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks
you
a
so
lot.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.